So this is an old Vauxhall Vectra, but when you're driving it, the clocks go crazy, so they all drop down and stop doing anything. And then, if you sort of bang on the dashboard, sometimes they wake back up again and then they drop back down again, and there's obviously something wrong with the cluster, so let's get it out. This might seem a bit counterintuitive, but to get the cluster out on one of these, you have to remove this piece of plastic trim and that little piece of plastic trim, and literally all you do is get your podgers and just podge underneath it, and then it comes out. So once you've got this one out as well, you literally just pull this piece of trim down, and then there are two screws here and over here. So you take them screws out, and then you can pop the cluster out. To undo the cable, you literally just press that latch down and then flip that part forward, but it's quite hard to do with one hand. So right, so I've got the cluster out of the car. What we've got to do is take some screws out, like little Torx. It's about 8 of them, I think. I've never had one of these clusters apart, so we're doing it together. Me and you, babe. How about it? Right, that gets us to that stage. So we're gonna unlatch these. To be fair, all clusters are very similar in construction. Yeah, they're a board with a set of needles. Okay, so once you get to here, I have this normally when I take a cluster apart. I find the best way is if I grab hold of the needle and I spin it and pull it at the same time. Yeah. Some are easier than others. Yeah. Because if you just pull, sometimes you break the little gearboxes inside. So, there we go. There you go. Right, so that gets us the needles off. So what next? This has got some sort of membrane display here. Yeah. So there's a little LCD panel in there. So we need to be careful with that. But I think if we unpodge that, yeah, looks like it's going to come out with the cluster, with the board, and it's going to be attached there. Yeah, I think we'll leave that where it is, because these ribbon connectors, these flexes, are often very delicate at this time of age, at this point in their life. But I think the problem is going to be these solder joints here on this harness. So we'll go and have a look and set up in the microscope. Back in a minute. So this is the back of the connector of where that plug is. Yeah. Now, just set you up in the microscope. Here we go. You ready? If we go in here, there you go. Can you see that bottom right hand solder joint has got a big ring around it? Well, it's literally broken from the board, and that looks like the ground pin to me. So as it moves around, it's literally breaking contact, and then when you're smacking the dashboard, it's making contact again. So we'll resolder that up. Right, so we've soldered them up. I'm going to inspect my there we go. Got that properly soldered up. There you go. So we'll put it all back together. Okay, right, so let's put this back together. Literally just make sure we don't trap that LCD display or anything. What we'll do next, put some needles back on, like this. And then you just adjust them so they all sit nice and level back on the zeros. Let's go again with that one. They look about right. If you don't line them up nice, you'll sit in the car forever and go and feel that the lines don't quite line up. Just like you might be used to your fuel gauge being in a certain position when you're running the on the end of the fuel light. We'll call them about there. Yeah, bit of that. Put that back on. And we'll do all the screws. It's just the reverse of what we did last time. Get it all buttoned back up. And then we can put it back in the car. So I'll catch you back in the car in a minute.
Get that ball out, Daddy.
So hang on, let me put the screws in. What sort of ball is it? Is it too big for the hole?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know how to wear her out, honey.
Well, we could have gone this morning.
No, then we would have come that way. And then we just never know with the traffic. And at that time, I would have had to spin my head around, travel 40 minutes with my neck hurting while I'm trying to keep that child away.
Okay.
Not you, me. Then I would have had to deal with a very grouchy, overtired child to put her to bed for her nap time.
Right then, so we're back in the car. We'll get it fitted back in, button back up, plugged in, and we'll see if it solves the problem, eh? But as it's an intermittent issue, only time will tell realistically, won't it? It'll have to be driven a bit and see if it stops it from doing it or not. But that's how you take the cluster out and do them solder joints on there, and that hopefully solves your intermittent cluster problem on one of these Vectras.